Since the new patch, there are 3 new scenarios in the game featuring old cars. Like really old. Like overheating engines and questionable brakes, kind of old. So I decided to speedrun every one of them. Because, let's be honest, who cares about Gavril when you have got these vintage beauties lying around? And when I say beauties, I mean cars with engines that could double up as steam generators and brakes that are more like polite suggestions. So, without further ado, Molten here, and let's do this. We are starting with something I love: police chases. The scenario is called Bootleg Runner, and oh boy, this police car is terrible. Luckily, so is our suspect. The first problem is this nasty turn. Let's see if we can cut it. A rapid right turn? Nope, there is a rock. So we have 2 options: cut corner or really cut corner. The first one kind of works, but the car gets so wobbly it's a complete mess. The second cut though, perfect and clean. Next question: where should I try to stop the target? The bridge seems like the ideal spot. I could probably trap the suspect there, but there is one issue. A pesky rock blocking my perfect side hit. So I will need to get a cleaner start and catch the suspect earlier. Alternatively, I could wait for the AI to derp out and not start right away. But let's face it, that's against the speedrunning rules. Alright, this looks promising. Wait, no, stop! It's a restart. It seems like if I can trap the suspect between the hill and the bridge, it's an automatic win. Let's make it happen. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Now, about the timer. It's always a problem in chases. The sooner those 5 seconds of immobilization start, the better. But the timer only begins when both my car and the suspect's car are nearly stopped. Time to optimize that. From what I've seen, hitting 25 seconds is pretty easy. Sub 25? That's tricky, but manageable. The real question is, can I get sub 24? If everything lines up perfectly, like trapping the suspect on the bridge railing while also getting stuck myself, it should be possible. For now though, my best attempt is 24.3 seconds, and while that's decent, I'm confident it can be improved. Next up is Hotrod Club, a race, and let me just say, I already hate it. This car is a total disaster with oversteering, understeering, weak tires and even weaker brakes. The smallest bump can send you back to the start. And of course, don't forget about the AI racers. So let's give it a shot. As expected, most runs end right at the start. Either the AI decides to act up, or a random bump launches me into the nearest tree. Once I get past that chaos, there is a silver lining, a skip. Who needs a long tricky U-turn when you can cut through grass and mud? It's probably the only real shortcut on the map, and it's 100% skill based. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. But hey, it works. Then there is the road beside the ocean. I hate it almost as much as the start. It's narrow, twisty and feels like a death trap. After that, it's just 3 minutes of clean driving to the finish. I will admit, it took me way longer than expected to finish this even once. But once I got the hang of it, the first part became manageable. That said, patience is key, and most of my runs failed because I wasn't patient enough. After what felt like an eternity, I finally got a run I'd consider decent. Good start, clean skip and a possible second half. There is definitely room for improvement, especially in the latter part. But let me be clear, do not waste your time trying to perfect this map. It's never going on the speedrunning leaderboards. Save yourself the frustration. Don't be me. That said, if you are a glutton for punishment and want to push your sanity to the brink, give it a shot. If you manage to beat my time, drop a comment. I would love to see how many brave souls attempt this nightmare. Now that I have survived one of the most frustrating scenarios, it's time to move on to something better. The third and final challenge, Vintage Hauler. This is your standard hauling mission. Drive to point A to collect cargo and deliver it to point B. Simple, right? Well, not so much. The first issue is, of course, the car. The engine is painfully weak, and once you take into account those massive logs, it's even harder to move. To make matters worse, the transfer case is fragile. One bad bump and you are likely to lose a wheel. But here is where things get interesting. The pre-built directional arrows are completely wrong. If you follow them, there is no way you will finish quickly. So let's ditch the instructions and take a more creative route. The first objective is right on top of a hill. It's a trailer with some cargo, which means more weight for the poor truck to drag around. Reaching it isn't exactly a walk in the park. As I mentioned, with such a weak engine, even the small ditch can spell disaster. And once you are there, you face the dreaded coupling. I have never been a fan of coupling tasks, even modern ones like cafe supplies, but this one takes the cake. The coupling area is tiny and the mechanism is so weak that even a small bump or a notorious steel bush can disconnect your cargo, and no cargo means no win. After numerous failed attempts to get the cargo and make it down to the next point, I decided to change my approach. Funny enough, just a little farther from my initial drop down spot there is a much smoother slope. It's not too steep, so the cargo stays safely close to the truck. But what about the time? After countless tries, I managed a sub 2-minute run. The current unlisted world record held by Wool is an insane 1 minute and 41 seconds. I can't beat that, at least not yet. So for now, I'm focusing on just breaking the 2-minute barrier. The first part of my run is straightforward. A quick jump into the field, then a direct cut to the dirt road. I tear through the grass like a madman, inching closer to the objective, while trying to avoid even the slightest mistake. One slip up could leave me without enough speed to continue. Thankfully, all goes well, and I make it back onto the road, just before reaching the first objective. After a quick coupling, it's time to head back, dodging bushes and rocks like my life depends on it. This part is surprisingly smooth and pretty quick too. Once I hit the downhill stretch, it's all over. Honestly, this map feels like a breath of fresh air compared to the chaos of Hotrod Club. It's nice, relaxing, and dare I say, fun. And there you have it, the new scenarios conquered. My times aren't perfect, but hey, that just means there is plenty of room for improvement, right? If you enjoyed my suffering, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you will be attempting any of these challenges. I'm really curious to see how you do. See ya